We're recording. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Cut. All right, hold on. I'm expecting the music myself. That kind of threw me. I'm expecting the music my damn self. Okay.
You sure you don't leave me to hum it so you can be in rhythm?
All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to This Week in the PNFL. I'm your host, Mark Hill, and along for the ride today is Mitch Grawl and Dean Chambers. How you doing, guys?
Oh, man.
All
Tell
right.
you what, it was a great day today. What to watch Whitney Houston and a flyover.
There you go. And we're doing this through the Discord channel, so we have a much wider, a mini audience again. We have our co-commish Rich is here. We have Barney from Minnesota here. We have James from Philly here. We have Shuggy from Green Bay here, and we have Steve from LA. Say something, guys. Let the world know you're out there.
Yeah, turn on the applause sign or something.
I don't have the applause sign on me right now. I should have had that pulled up. I'll add it. I'll throw it in there some way. So we just got finished watching the Super Bowl for this season between the New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. Definitely was a very entertaining game. I got in a little late, but from looking at the score, it was a very entertaining game. We're going to run through that. Then we're going to open it up for the guys that's in the Discord room if there's anything they want to add to it. And then we're going to talk some more about the next league that's going to be coming up, starting games next week, which is the PCFL. So if you guys are ready, here we go. So again, our main Super Bowl, the Super Bowl for this week or for this year was between Minnesota and the New York Jets. And it was a late score in the end, but in the end, the Jets do what the Jets are going to do. There you go, guys. Everybody got to take a shot now. As the Jets take this one 24-16. We're going to start with Rich on this one. Richard, did he leave?
This is live television, everybody. This is live television.
All right, we're going to start with Dean.
Yeah, this game was a battle of two different games. Minnesota dominated the first half and had a 16-10 lead. And then the Jets changed up their game plan and made some halftime adjustments, and they dominated both the scoring and time of possession in the second half, scoring 2 touchdowns unanswered, and they went on to win this game 24-16. I was saying it was going to be 24-18, so it's close. Of course, I picked the wrong team. I predicted that Minnesota would win this game. They did not, but it was a very good game, and, once again, shows how tough it is to beat the Jets in the Super Bowl, and it remains to be seen whether anyone is going to do that in future seasons, but today the Vikings fell just a little short.
All right. Mitch.
Yeah, the big thing that I saw here in this game is that New York scored more points than Minnesota. Thanks, Mark. No, I'm joking. No, Minnesota definitely came out strong running the football and controlled the clock in the first half. The weird, and we talked about this during the game, and I know this was a concern of Barney's, was that he was getting into scoring position and had to take 3 field goals versus converting, one to a touchdown, and that ultimately, hurt him when the Jets were able to score a couple of touchdowns in the second half, and obviously that made the difference. But a strong showing, good game, and a fine season for both teams. So nothing to hang your head about.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. Trading touchdowns and field goals is not a good trade. In the first exchange of scores, Minnesota leads 7-3. Both teams would go on to score 3 more times, but the Jets would score 3 touchdowns and the Vikings would score 3 field goals. Because if all of those had been touchdowns, instead, Minnesota would have had a 28-10 lead at halftime and then held on. So, again, proves the point that I made last week when we looked at the Minnesota-Washington game. You definitely want to score touchdowns when you have a chance to score and not field goals, because they may not be enough.
Yep, I agree. I got a message from Rich. He's off doing some stuff, uploading the game right now as we just finished watching. So he's going to jump back in a little bit when he's done. So I see that James, Shuggy, or Steve, or matter of fact, Barney's here.
You sure you don't want to hear from the coach?
Yes, I see. Well, no,
yeah.
Barney didn't show up on my screen, so I had to scroll it down. So Barney,
the coach is in the locker room eating cold pizza right
now.
Yeah.
All right, Barney, go ahead.
It's a great game. Congratulations to Thomas. He came up with the winning, second half. He changed up his profile. He changed up his game plan, and he came up with a winner. So congratulations to him. I did my best. I worked hard this week. We jumped out to the lead, but as Dean pointed out, field goals instead of touchdowns. And in a big game like this, that's going to kill you.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, you put up a good game. And, looking at the stats, the stats are pretty much even across the board. Total yards, and like a difference of 1 yard between the two. You had the edge on him in rushing, 133 to 112. He had you edged in passing, 226 to 204. Time possession was barely a minute difference. The two fumbles and losing one, if I could point one item out, and I think you guys, I know you would agree with it, Coach, is that's what really stood out. The first fumble, you was able to recover it. That helped with the second one late in the game. That definitely took a hit on you. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Scored, didn't it, after that fumble? Just
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putting the ball on the ground, taking sacks, putting the ball on the ground. You're not going to win doing that. And, what are you going to do? Those are the breaks of the game.
Yeah, definitely. So, for the other coaches that are out there in the audience today, anyone else has anything to say? Steve, Shuggy, James, any comments? I see Shuggy's up there. What'd you think about this one?
Well, I for one am very upset. I really was counting on Minnesota winning this game, and I might consider drinking again after this.
I already started drinking in the second half, Shuggy. So,
okay. Yeah. Good season, Barney. Look forward to kicking your ass next year.
It's going to be fun next season. Look forward to competing with you again.
Okay.
Right on.
All right.
You won't be beating the Super Bowl champs. You'll just be beating the Super Bowl runner-ups. That will still be good.
Right. Steve, are you out there? Can you you want to chime in on this, or are you gonna? There he is.
Yeah. I guess what we saw is that you leave the AFC West, you lose some of the magic. Sorry, man. Just like Dean found out, right? So basically, I think what happened you saw in this game was I think the Jets just put on the pressure on the QB in the second half a lot more. Minnesota's more of a running team, I noticed in this game. But in the second half, you got the 4 sacks there, and you have the fumble by the quarterback, and then even the quarterback getting injured from all that pressure. So, that was a big game changer right there at the end.
Yeah. James, you want to jump in on this one? Oh, yes, no. Okay, James is not.
I'll jump in, Mark. I'll jump in.
All right, go ahead.
The difference was the second half, the Jet defense played like the Jet defense normally plays. 100 yards of offense. even the Minnesota running game kind of stalled out in the second half. I think they had about 30 yards of rushing, 65 yards of passing, 38% completion. Jet defense was different in the second half, and that's the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's got to be, listen, this is a tough loss for Minnesota. This is a tough one because you know what the key in the first half, it really did feel like Minnesota was in control, and then 3 out of the 4 scoring drives ended up in field goals, and that's tough. You only had a 6-point lead at halftime after playing a very good first half, and it wasn't enough. You need to finish those drives off if you're gonna knock off Justin or Thomas in these games. You've got to be able to put some points on the board, and those field goals hurt.
Yeah, I was thinking before the game I had to score 30 points to win, and it looks like that's what happened.
By the way, how about a shout out for the guy who makes the lines? How about that line? 7.5.
Yeah, definitely, it was right there.
Nailed it.
Dead on with that line.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
No, Barney, great season. You got a hell of a ride next season playing Chicago because he's going to be pissed off. So we'll see what happens there.
I'm not looking forward to it.
This was a good game. Good competitive Super Bowl. I mean, there's no blowouts here. Could have gone either way. Couple little that second half. I got to be honest. If that were me, I'd be kind of sick after this game. This would bother me, but good luck next season.
Thanks. Well, my attitude was either I was going to win or learn. So hopefully I learned from this.
You called it at halftime. You said it's going to be a whole new Jet PPP in the second half, and it is, and it was. And it's the defense. That's really, his defense was completely different, and it basically completely stopped you.
He dominated me. That was unfortunate for me. The Jets do what the Jets are going to do. So,
but he wasn't overwhelming offensively. You did a great job of holding him down, slowing him down. He didn't exactly dominate anything on offense, but it was his defense. His defense won the Super Bowl. I mean, Mac Jones is going to walk away with the MVP with 3 touchdowns, but it was the defense that won this game.
Yeah, look at I think all 4 of the sacks were in the second half, and the 2 fumbles were in the second half. So, you're not going to score points when you're doing that. So, kudos to him.
That's why you got to take advantage in the first half. When you got 4 scoring drives, you got to get more than 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I will definitely be looking into that, in the post-game analysis.
Yeah. Good season now, guys. This was fun.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and pivot on over to our middle segment right now, or actually not the middle segment, the ending segment, basically. So Dean has been working with the coaches and getting everything set up for the PCFL. That's going to start next Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to go ahead and turn this one over to Dean to go ahead and give some more insight and info on this. So the floor is yours, Dean.
Yeah, we're this is becoming reality. We're ready to roll into the first week this week. PVPs are due on Friday night, the usual PNFL time, and we'll be having games this coming Saturday, a week from yesterday. And we have 8 teams that are filled right now, and there's openings for anyone else who wants to join us, and I would urge them to do so, and we'll continue trying to get coaches to fill those 10 vacancies, as many as possible. And the first game of weekends is this weekend, and the schedule is both on the league website and on the league files. There's a couple good matchups between human coaches. There's Arkansas playing Texas, which is Matt and Justin, they're playing, and then some of the other teams that are human coach will be playing CPU teams. And y'all have the headless horseman to look forward to when you play Colorado, and I think just about all of us will be playing them. So should be an interesting season, and we'll overlap a little bit with the early part of the next PNFL season, but it'll be as much of it as possible by starting this weekend, 1 week after the Super Bowl, will be played during the PNFL offseason. And many of those weeks you won't have a whole lot of tasks to do with managing your PNFL team. As Rich explained, a lot of that, the reason why some of those tasks have to take a week is because of the work that he has to do. So this kind of fills in that time. And no one will be bored, and anyone who wants to join us and help take up that off-season time and continue staying in the game, I would urge you all who haven't already done so to look at our league website, look at the teams available, and pick up a team and join.
All right. So
I have a question for you, Dean. Are you
Yes.
playing these games out and recording them?
That's one thing that I did want to send you an email, and I'll send you an email and ask about the logistics of doing that. I would rather do pretty much the same setup you do, run the games and record the video, and then we can still do the Discord thing like we've been doing. So
would you even play out the games between computer teams?
yeah, the games will be played. We're not simming anything.
Okay.
They'll be-
Yeah, all right.
I mean, I don't know if anyone really wants to watch a game between computer teams. I mean, not even really for scouting purposes.
Well, that's why I'm wondering, like, if you have 18 teams and you have 3 or 4 games in a week that it's computer teams, you could just sim them out. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
I mean, it would save you time. I mean, there's no reason to play out 9 games a week when if nobody's going to watch 2 computer teams play.
That's what I would have done.
watch has access to the CPU PPPs, and they can sim or play games against those PPPs. So they wouldn't even have to like watch the game for scouting purposes, because just like with. So you'll be able to just.
You might want to save yourself time. That's all. I mean, There's no reason to play them out, record them, put them on YouTube. There's really no. I mean, maybe people might want to watch them occasionally, but like it's not for scouting purposes. You're really just kind of, I hate to say it, wasting your time playing computer teams out. And
Yep.
45 minutes per game. It's just kind of save yourself the heartache.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, any game with any human coach team in it is obviously going to be played out.
Right.
And we'll record the video.
One thing you need to do before we start the season, you need to make sure you define what gets you into the playoffs. Very clearly in the forum rules.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean you don't do it by it's not a simple standings type of thing?
It could be. I don't know what he's decided.
I
Or
think
do you guys do like a coach's poll or something?
I would rather go by standings.
I think the easiest thing to do would be what you suggested, Steve. Just the top 8 teams that are in that power poll at the bottom of the standings that the utility puts out.
Yep.
And those
That's what I would do.
that almost always matches with the game. It may not be the exact same seedings, but doesn't that always pretty much match what the game sets up as far as the 8 teams that are in the playoffs?
Pretty close. Yep.
Yeah. So I think for simplicity, the easiest thing to do to just do what you suggested, but I can write that into the rules to just go with that.
And what I would do for tiebreakers is there might be some ties in that. So like especially between 8 and 9, for example. So the tiebreakers would be probably like head to head is first, and then the team with the most wins is next tiebreaker, and the team with the higher power score is the next tiebreaker. Or not the power score, but the actual W time score, and then you can look at other stuff. But I mean, I think you have to have some tiebreakers.
And those are the tiebreakers that the utility already uses, right? When it does that.
Yeah, you could look inside the tiebreakers in there. Yeah, and you would just obviously ignore division and conference, because what's the point? There is no division in conference.
Yeah, there really isn't. It's basically 18 college teams.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I just need to put rules so that it's clear that that's what we're going to do.
I think it's good.
all right. So
And then once you have playoffs teams and they're seeded, you just do the regular tournament like you'd normally do. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 2 plays 7, and so.
Yep. And you can even do a bracket pool at the end and have points allocated, just like Rich does with the whatchamacallit, the betting. You can do a bracket pool at the end, just like I did for the XFBS.
And we don't really have it set up now, but maybe next season we could talk about doing like weekly betting on games, especially as we get more CPU teams filled.
Yep.
We're at it right now. We get to the point of 10, 12, 13 or 14, it might make more sense to do that and, give 3 points every week, just like Rich does in the PNFL. And it might be something we can look at going forward.
Now, what is just a quick run through? I know you mentioned earlier about how you have the deadlines for turning the PPPs and the days that you're going to be running the games. For those that haven't gone to it yet, or those that are just listening and trying to figure everything out, give us a quick rundown again on the dates and the deadlines.
Yeah, the deadline for the first week 1 PPPs is going to be this coming Friday, which is the 26th. They're just like in the PNFL due at midnight Eastern time, and the games will be run on Saturday. And we'll have to figure out a time. Is like 8 p.m. Eastern time good on Saturday to do the Discord thing? Is that what time you all think would be a pretty good time, or is earlier more feasible?
That's a good question, Mitch.
And it really doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you. Whatever y'all want to do.
Yeah, I mean it's you could do it in the mornings. That leaves everything open up for the evenings for people that want to do things in the evening. But you have to set the rules down. You tell us, and then we'll follow along. Follow along in your lead. Follow your lead.
Is 5 p.m. Eastern time too early, which would be 2 p.m. my time?
Anyone?
I think it just depends on what else is going on Saturday after.
In our lives. And you're going to be competing with the Olympics. You're going to be competing with preseason NFL. Just keeping in mind what people are going to be probably watching.
Yeah.
So.
Do people watch the Olympics anymore? Are you really going to be competing against the Olympics?
Well, I would, but Caitlin Clark's not in the Olympics. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It might be like you might actually have the NBA team playing, and everyone wants to watch it or something. They're playing Russia, so who knows? You see what I mean?
Your TV and have the volume muted while we're doing this. That could be. I mean, I have the news on right now with it muted, just kind of.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. People just want to have it just be muted and just watch it that way.
I would just aim for the normal time that Mitch does it. I mean, but whatever is good for you, though, Dean. So that's
the more consistent the time you pick, the easier it'll be. If you start moving the time around each week, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I just picked, Friday nights at 10 because I figured that, if I had anything going on Friday night, I'd be mostly pretty close to being done with it, and then anybody from the West Coast, it wouldn't be too early or too late. So,
and it gives you the whole weekend.
That's right.
We could even do Friday night for any teams that get their stuff in by earlier in the day on Friday and have time to play the games. We could even do a couple of games Friday and maybe a couple of games Saturday. And we're probably gonna have anywhere from 4 to 6 games each week that have human coach teams in them.
Yep.
And I think those will all be of interest, but especially the games where both teams.
Yeah, maybe that's how to do it is because we will have fewer games that are just going to be human versus human. Maybe it is we just focus on the human versus human games, and maybe we pick maybe 2 or 3 that we say at the beginning of the week, hey, these are the ones we want to highlight at whatever time you want to do it. And that way, it kind of keeps a schedule, and people who want to do it can do it and all that. So maybe that's an idea.
Mitch, though, you're notoriously greedy, though. Remember how this all started with 2 games per week on Friday. Suddenly we finished with 9 games the last time, right? Week 16, we played every single one of them. So,
well, I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning. I had nothing to do. I mean,
right. You got another one? I got 3 games. I have 3 games from week 1 in 2045.
Yeah, I have nothing going on tomorrow. Keep sending them. Yes.
It'll just get more interesting as the season goes on.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
trade-
But the thing is, though, we won't have 9 games that are going to be human versus human. I think we just do one that are human versus human, not even if it's just human versus computer. But
I
human
mean, you
versus-
don't know that this league,
Oh,
it could
you'll
fill
play.
up. People can join at any time and change the team at any time during this season because that does not affect the league stats at all.
I think
Yeah.
the human versus teams.
Well,
will
we
be
got
the-
we got that long waiting list, so yeah, you're probably right.
But I think some of the CPU teams are going to be fairly competitive. So, if the Headless Horseman starts off 5-0, like in the PNFL, that game is probably going to be just as interesting.
And that's
Or
when
even-
new coaches tend to join. I'm going to take over the 6-0 computer team so I can be in it already. So watch out.
Right.
Okay. So, anything else you guys have on this topic? I think we're all set.
Nothing for me.
Okay.
Hasn't yet to join us and pick up a team. There's 10 teams open. Get
All right.
3 or 4 more to join. We'll be down to 5 or 6 teams open.
Okay. And on Rich's side for the PNFL, I know that you were saying start doing cutting players. When you just want to confirm, we're going to start doing that now, or we're going to start doing it next week,
You can
or
start cutting players right now. Go ahead, go to the forum, cut your players. The Super Bowl was emailed out. Hopefully, everyone got it, and you got till next weekend to get cut down to 53. That's all you have to worry about right now. Don't think about anything else. Just cut your team down to 53.
all right.
Post your and prepare your PPPs for this weekend.
There you go. All right. So as we make our final rounds, one last chat. I'd like to thank everyone for showing up, being in the show this week. And I think as I did on the last show, thank everyone for participating in the show this past season, coming on as a guest host. When Mitch was in his bunker. And just coming on as a guest overall. So I'd like to thank you guys, and we will be seeing you guys next season as we go around the table one last time. Dean, any final words that you have?
Yeah, I would say congrats to Thomas on winning the Super Bowl, having another great season, and everyone else for having a great season. And the league is filled with all 18 teams human coached, and we go into the next season. Probably that will be the case as well. So good luck to everyone in the off season. Like I said, post your cuts and send in your stuff this coming Friday for week 1 in the PCFL.
All right. Mitch, any final words you have over there?
Yeah, just another fun season. We'll be moving into the off season now. So I guess the only thing left to do is let's get it. Boom, boom.